many people debate whether to have kids at all, what with the expense and the work involved. While Angelina Jolie, with her large brood, is an advocate for the big is best mentality, taking it to the extreme is Nadia Suleiman, otherwise known as Octomom. Last year, the birth of her octuplets was televised on Radar Online. That made her natural mother to a massive 14 kids in total, all by IVF.
Put them in the swing and hold some of them too at the same time.
Fox Television made a special about the family, and Suleiman's California home has been surrounded by paparazzi for most of the babies' lives. Suleiman has become a pop icon and the subject of jokes on the internet and late-night television shows. She's also raised funds to pay for her children's upbringing by selling their appearances in the media. In August, an Orange County court ruled that a guardian must monitor the money Suleiman's children receive from various media projects. But the ruling has since been overturned and the case continues. Mother of the Year or exploitative attention seeker? Nadia Suleiman is our connector of the day. And I spoke with Nadia Suleiman just a short time ago, and I started by asking her the question that all parents want to ask her. How much sleep is she getting?
All the kids sleep all night. They sleep from maybe 7:30 to 5, the babies, and then my older kids a little later till the morning. So right now I'm kind of keeping myself busy, a little too busy, by either writing or going to the gym in the middle of the night.
So you're getting your sleep, so you're managing to get through the day. You're not up all night.
There's just not enough hours in a day, so I'm kind of taking advantage of the night.
Okay.
I'm nocturnal actually, so.
As a parent of 2 young kids, I'm also aware of how expensive it can be with young kids. How are you coping with the cost of all of this?
It's a challenge. It is a challenge. Again, it's, it is a double-edged sword. I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. I can't work a 9-to-5 job or else I won't have any time with the kids. And then obviously that's not going to be enough income to provide for them. But then, I'm trying to secure onto whatever I can, which will help us, help provide. It's just kind of a revolving door of expenses. Every dollar that comes in goes on the care of the kids.
It must be really hard to juggle. So we've got lots of questions from viewers coming into us. Christine has written in to ask you, what's your daily routine nowadays with 14 children, and how do you cope?
Well, I do have 2 helpers with the babies, and that's a great help. And then I have someone to help me primarily with my child who has autism, and then one with all the others.
And how are you managing to give each one the attention that I'm sure you want to give each of them as a mother? You're desperate to do that, but you have to juggle it. I mean, it's impossible, isn't it?
It's impossible. It's impossible. It'd be impossible for 2 couples working together. You can't. You do the best you possibly can. You try to have special alone time with each child, even if it's just putting a child to bed, older kid, and then, talking to them, telling them a story, asking about their day. I mean, as long as they get alone time and it's quality, I'd love to be able to give them enough quantity attention, but with so many kids, that's virtually impossible.
OK, and Naomi wants to know, given your experience, do you support limits on the number of embryos that can be implanted during IVF? And if so, what should that limit be?
Every case is subjective. Every woman responds differently. I think it needs to apply directly to that particular case. Given my past reproductive history, the doctor did not make any kind of mistake. He went according to what was successful in the past. So only a certain amount of embryos were transferred, the same as were transferred when I had my twins. So the last thing anyone would have ever imagined or conceptualized was more than 1 or 2 growing. But for women in general, you can't say a woman, let's say, who's in her 40s, she's been trying for 10 years, and you're transferring in 2, reducing the probability of success, down to 10%. That's not necessarily appropriate for her.
I mean, Nat asks, do you ever think about getting married? Do you think your children need a male role model?
I believe I do not have to put myself out there at all. I don't feel I need to date. I feel as though the missing piece of the puzzle will be placed naturally in, our lives when the time's right in the future someday. So I just don't believe in going out there and wasting precious time and energy that I need for my kids.
We've talked about your media appearances, and you are very exposed to the media. Looking back on all of this and how you've been thrust into the limelight, how do you think you've changed, and what do you think other people can learn from your experience?
Boy, that's the best question thus far, and I talk about all of that in a book I'm writing. And I've definitely grown more in the last 10, 11 months than I have in 34 years. So I personally believe, at this point, I believe everything happens for a reason. And I've learned how strong I am. I've learned that it's a choice who you let into your life and who you are going to allow affect you, psychologically, emotionally. So I've learned how to maintain boundaries, and how to grow as a result of some extraordinarily challenging situation.
Nadia Suleiman speaking to me earlier.